California sunshine, surf music, palm trees, and plenty of drama. The OC was far more than just another teen series in the early 2000s. Caught between broken families, destructive secrets, and the constant pressure to be perfect, the show revealed a side of the American dream that many viewers overlooked at the time. Behind every party lurked a downfall, and behind every smile was a crack waiting to show. What began as a modern fairy tale about an outsider ended in chaos, heartbreak, and one decision that changed everything. And that's exactly where the real fascination with the OC begins. Welcome to Back On Screen, your channel for nostalgic TV series and forgotten television legends. Today, we're diving into the dark side of the OC, The Rise. In the summer of 2003, Fox launched a new series that hardly anyone saw coming. A teenager from a troubled, working-class background is thrown into a world of wealth, intrigue, and sun-soaked superficiality. The OC was like Beverly Hills, 90210, only smarter, funnier, and far more modern. Seth Cohen brought sarcasm and wit to the world of teen dramas. Marissa Cooper became the tragic queen of high school heartbreak, and Ryan Atwood, the boy from Chino, turned into a symbol of both rebellion and hope. The series exploded overnight. It shattered ratings records, landed on magazine covers everywhere, and suddenly everyone wanted to know what the OC actually stood for. With artists like The Killers, Imogen Heap, and Death Cab for Cutie, the soundtrack turned the OC into a pop culture time capsule of the early 2000s. It even changed the way people dressed and talked, thanks to Seth. Being a nerd suddenly became cool. But while everything looked perfect on screen, the seeds of what would eventually bring it all crashing down were already growing behind the scenes. The first crack. Even during the first season, the cast and crew struggled under the immense pressure of the show's sudden success. The shooting schedule was relentless, the media attention overwhelming, and above all, Mischa Barton, who played Marissa Cooper, found herself at the center of the frenzy. She was only 17 years old and suddenly on the cover of every magazine. Parties, paparazzi, scandals, her personal life became inseparable from the character she played, and it didn't come without consequences for Mischa. As her character slowly fell apart on screen, the real Mischa Barton was falling apart too. Alcohol, stress, exhaustion. In later interviews, she admitted that she felt trapped inside a golden cage. Even creator Josh Schwartz realized early on that the show had become too big, too fast. Still, Fox kept pushing for more drama, more glamour, and more scandal. What had originally been conceived as a sharp social satire gradually turned into a full-blown soap opera, and that was the moment the series lost its heart. The turning point. The breaking point came in season 3. The ratings were slipping, critics complained that the show had become overly melodramatic, and Mischa Barton simply wanted out. Officially, both sides claimed it was a creative decision, but behind the scenes, it had long been clear that Mischa Barton had reached her limit. She felt burned out, mistreated, and saw no other way forward except to leave. Years later, she admitted in an interview, "I was too young to understand what was happening to me. I just wanted to get away." For the show's creators, it was a nightmare. How do you end the story of a character who had become the emotional heart of the series? Every possible choice came with risks. In the end, the inevitable happened, the moment no fan would ever forget: Marissa Cooper's death. When the car burst into flames in the season 3 finale, it wasn't just the character who disappeared. It felt like a piece of the show's magic vanished with her. Fans were devastated, and many felt betrayed. Online forums exploded with arguments, blame, conspiracy theories, and endless speculation about the future of the series. The ratings collapsed, and the once unshakable foundation of the OC began to crumble. But the damage didn't stop with the show itself. It fundamentally changed the characters, the storylines, and the entire atmosphere. What had started as a carefree teen drama suddenly became darker, more tense, and far more uncertain. New characters were introduced and storylines were reshaped, but the void left by Marissa's departure was impossible to ignore. It was a turning point in every sense of the word, not just for the story, but for the very identity of the OC. The series had lost its emotional core, and with it, the sense of lightness that had once made it so special. What followed was a battle for relevance, a battle for credibility, and a battle to win back the hearts of fans who suddenly realized that nothing would ever be the same again. The downfall. After Marissa's death and Mischa Barton's departure, Season 4 tried to reinvent the series, an almost impossible task. New characters, a different tone, and even more humor. The show was supposed to feel more mature. But the magic was gone. The chemistry between Ryan, Seth, and Summer was still there, but without Marissa, the emotional anchor was missing. By then, Fox had already lost faith in the series. Its time slot was changed, the promotional campaign was scaled back, and the OC became a shadow of its former self. In 2007, it all came to an end after just 4 seasons. But while the series signed off with a bittersweet finale, Mischa Barton was struggling with the real-life consequences of her success. Mental health struggles, negative headlines, and drug allegations turned her into a tragic symbol of what Hollywood can do to young stars. It wasn't until many years later that she openly spoke about being bullied and pressured on set. She revealed that she was constantly afraid of making mistakes because everything she did was put under a public microscope. And today, she says leaving the series was the best decision she could have made. The hidden story. But the OC was more than just a teen drama that ended too soon. Behind its glossy exterior was a surprisingly sharp portrait of society. The story of a boy from Chino entering the wealthy world of the Coens was never just a love story. It was a critique of social inequality. Ryan was the conscience of the series, Seth was its brain, and Marissa was its heart. Once the heart was gone, everything else fell apart. What many fans don't know is that Josh Schwartz was the youngest showrunner in Fox history at the time. He was only 26 years old. He didn't have a large team or experience handling a phenomenon of that magnitude, and the network was constantly interfering. It wasn't until his later series, Chuck and Gossip Girl, that he learned from those mistakes. Looking back, many critics have reached the same conclusion. The OC became a victim of its own success. It grew too big, too fast, shined too brightly, and eventually burned itself out. The echo of the past. Nearly 2 decades later, the OC is experiencing a comeback, not on network television, but in the hearts of its fans. Streaming platforms have given the series a second life, and a whole new generation is discovering the glamorous world of Newport Beach. And they quickly realized that this wasn't just another teen drama, it was a cultural phenomenon. Quotes like, "Welcome to the OC, bitch," have become iconic, while songs like Hide and Seek in California bring back memories of a time when life seemed simpler and television somehow felt more genuine. Mischa Barton has since made peace with her past. She says, "I'm grateful I was part of it, but I'm even more grateful that I made it through." And perhaps that's the true heart of the story. The OC showed us that beneath the most beautiful facade, darkness can always be hiding, and that those are the stories that stay with us the longest. The series was a story of triumph, downfall, and rebirth all at once. It burned brighter than most, but because of that, it burned out much faster. And that's exactly what makes it legendary. It taught us that glamour, heartbreak, and drama often go hand in hand, and that the stories which move us the most are often the ones that reveal something about ourselves. Today, the OC continues to captivate new audiences while longtime fans look back with nostalgia, and everyone comes away with the same realization. Some television shows are simply unforgettable.